Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today we're tackling a topic that I think resonates with just about everyone.
Yeah.
Turning those setbacks, those failures,
Mhm.
into something that actually propels you forward.
Into fuel for growth.
Yeah, exactly. And we're drawing insights from, well, a really interesting snippet we found
Really interesting.
that focuses on, well, on resilience, basically.
The power of bouncing
Yeah,
back.
and not just bouncing back, but like using that fall, that stumble
Yeah.
as momentum.
To launch yourself further.
Exactly. So we're going to be looking at stories, both the famous kind and,
The everyday kind.
yeah, the everyday heroes, and try to really break down, like, how can we cultivate that resilience in our own lives?
Yeah.
Because it's not like some magical,
It's a skill.
yeah, it's a
Yeah, but
skill.
you can
It's
build.
something you learn.
Absolutely.
So I think a good starting point is acknowledging that, we've all been there.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
all had those moments where things just,
Don't go as planned.
yeah, or they completely blow up in our faces.
It's universal.
It is. It's part of being human, right?
It is. And I think that's something that we often forget. We kind of look at other people and think,
That they have it all figured
well,
out.
they have it all together and we're the only ones struggling.
Yeah, the curated social media feeds don't help with that either.
No, not at all. But the reality is everyone's got their stuff. Everyone's dealing with setbacks.
Right, and that's where these stories come in.
Absolutely.
Because, hearing how other people have navigated those rough waters, I don't know, it gives you this sense of,
Hope.
yeah, like, okay,
Yeah.
if they can do it, maybe I can too.
It's about seeing those possibilities, those paths forward that you might not have considered before.
And the snippet we're looking at, it talks about the importance of learning from both, like, the big names, the famous folks,
Yeah.
but also those, the everyday heroes.
The unsung heroes.
Yeah. So maybe we could start there. Like, what kind of examples are we talking about when we say everyday heroes?
Well, I mean, you think about the single parent who's working two jobs, juggling childcare, trying to make ends meet,
Right.
or the student who, despite facing learning challenges, manages to not only pass, but excel in their studies.
That grit, that determination, that's resilience in action.
Absolutely. Or the person who loses their job unexpectedly, and instead of panicking, they use it as an opportunity to
Reinvent themselves.
exactly, to retrain, to start a new career, something they're actually passionate about.
I love those examples because it shows that resilience isn't about, like, some superhuman ability.
Yeah.
It's something we all have within us.
It's a human capacity.
Yeah.
We all have the potential for it.
Okay, so we've established that resilience is a skill. We've seen these inspiring examples.
But how do we actually build it?
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Like, where's the instruction manual for resilience?
Right. Well, there are a few key techniques, and one that I find particularly powerful is something called cognitive reframing.
Reframing.
Yeah. It's essentially about shifting your perspective on a situation.
Okay.
So instead of viewing a setback as, a complete disaster, a sign that you're a failure,
Mm-hmm.
you reframe it as a challenge to overcome, an opportunity to learn.
So it's like turning that why me into, okay, what now?
Exactly.
I like that.
You ask yourself, okay, this didn't go as planned, but what can I learn from this? How can I approach this differently next time?
And it's not about, like, toxic positivity or ignoring the negative feelings, right?
No, not at all. It's about acknowledging those feelings, but then choosing to focus on the aspects that you can control.
On finding that empowering perspective.
Exactly.
I've also heard that reframing is really helpful for managing stress in general.
Oh, absolutely. It's like training your brain to see things in a more positive and proactive light.
Yeah, instead of getting overwhelmed by every little thing.
Right. Because stress is often a result of how we perceive a situation, not necessarily the situation itself.
Okay, so reframing is one technique. What else is in this resilience toolkit?
Well, another crucial aspect is self-compassion.
Self-compassion.
Yeah, we tend to be our own harshest critics.
Oh, tell me about it.
But when we're facing setbacks, it's so important to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend.
That's something I think a lot of people struggle with.
Me included, for sure. It's easier to be supportive of others than it is to be supporting of ourselves.
Yeah, we're quick to beat ourselves up over mistakes.
Absolutely. So how do we actually practice self-compassion, especially when we're feeling down?
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
One helpful exercise is to literally talk to yourself as you would to a friend in the same situation.
So, like, give yourself a pep talk.
Exactly. Offer words of encouragement. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes.
It's not the end of the world.
Right. And focus on the lessons learned rather than dwelling on the setback itself.
I guess it's about shifting that inner dialogue from being hypercritical to being more supportive.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that you're human, you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay.
It's part of the process.
It is. And it's through those mistakes that we learn and grow.
So to bring it all back, it seems like a lot of this resilience stuff is about mindset.
Absolutely. It's about our internal response to external circumstances.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
Think
Yeah.
about one area in your life where you could benefit from a little extra resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a project you've been putting off, a fear you've been avoiding.
A tough conversation you need to have.
Yeah. Whatever it is, remember those everyday heroes, the single parents, the students, the people reinventing themselves.
Chefs adjusting their recipes.
Exactly. And know that you have that same power within you to turn those setbacks into springboards for growth.
Absolutely. We all do.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
See ya.